now. There was some rumors going around that the Superior Court said they're going to settle, but now Honda. Could this take forever to get settled?
You can rest assured that any major car company is going to try and put off recalls until they absolutely have no choice but to pay them. So they're going to do whatever they can with their lawyers to make this go as long as possible, hoping that some of these cars will come off the road and hopefully try not to pay. That is their end goal. They do not want to paint your car again for free. So is it possible? It's absolutely possible. Hopefully the courts will be able to make them, take care of their product. If you have a class action suit already, there is a good chance. But by the time, I don't know how much longer you're planning on keeping your Civic, but you may find that some time will pass before anything comes of that yet.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Donna. Good luck. 1041, Pamela, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking the call, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a 2015 Hyundai Elantra, right?
Correct.
What's going on?
It is under 59,000 kilometers. To make a long story short, it has an AGM battery. Went to my regular garage, and they want to put a regular battery. When I called Hyundai, they say, no, you need to go to an AGM battery. We need to do an AVR test and to also see if the alternator is still good.
Okay, so what's the issue that you're having with your Elantra? Is it not starting?
No, we just went for a regular oil change, filters, tires, and then, of course, they go and inspect and check the battery and whatever, and the guy says, you need a new battery, and, it's quite low. He did a test, and he said it's quite low, and I found that very weird because we have an AGM. However, he wanted to put a regular battery. When I called him back just to verify, I said, but you realize I have an AGM battery and you want to put a regular. He goes, he didn't even know I had an AGM battery.
Okay, well, look, that battery should be widely available either way to have the correct battery installed. So, you always want to make sure you have the right model of battery. Good on you. That's a no-brainer. It's always a good idea to have your alternator tested at the same time. Generally speaking, if you're having an issue with your alternator, you would know by now because you'd have a little voltage light or a battery light coming on the dash, and once the alternator starts to fail, it doesn't take long before your battery can no longer keep up and you're not starting in the parking lot in the morning. So get your alternator tested, and look, if you have to replace that battery, it's not a big deal. These are widely available batteries. Just make sure you get the right model.
Okay. So I guess I would go to Hyundai?
You could go to Hyundai. You're going to pay more if you go there. You could go to a reputable garage and just make sure that the person that was working on it knows exactly what is required. And it may seem a little counterintuitive that you would have to produce this, but if you want to be 100% sure that you got the right equipment going in your car, maybe go on Google, pull out a document, and say, hey, this is the battery that I want, and just make sure they abide by that.
But if it's an AGM, I should stick to the AGM. What the garage said, regular is fine. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So just so long as you have the right battery going in there, make sure, because every vehicle has a specific model that has to go in there. So that has to be respected. That I would not deviate from that.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Pam.
No problem.
Bye now.
Have a great day. Bye.
It's 10:44. Chad, can you give me 60 seconds, if I can put you on the spot, and a quick difference between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive?
Yeah, simply put, all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The main difference is four-wheel drive, as the name implies, all four wheels will be running at the same speed once it's engaged. And all-wheel drive has the capacity to engage all four wheels or three wheels or two wheels, depending on the traction situation. So all-wheel drive tends to be more of a light duty. If you're going to go do big off-roading up in the hills and the rocks and stuff like that, you're going to want a four-wheel drive. It's a little more robust. But for most of the driving that the average person does in the winter and the rain and all that sort of thing, all-wheel drive is a great option. So the main difference is four-wheel drive is all the wheels going. All-wheel drive is it adds traction where it's needed.
Very good. Michelle, thank you for the text at 514-800. It's 10:45. That means we get to a look at the roads with our friend Jill Fitzgerald.
Hi, Ken. Major weekend-long closure affecting the Met westbound between the Laurentian autoroute and the Côte-de-Liesse entrance. Tough drive on Décarie northbound due to that from Queen Mary up into the Décarie interchange. And the Met westbound is congested from Christophe Colomb. You will be detoured onto the service road. Lane closures affecting the drive both sides of the Bisson Bridge up from the Tican northbound side, Notre Dame on the southbound side. The eastbound Ville-Marie has been reopened. 15 southbound for the Champlain. Heavy going from Atwater. 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuts Island, reopening at 2. Got questions on tech? We've got answers. Get the knowledgeable advice you need at Best Buy. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to star 800. Next report, 11 o'clock.
CJAD 800 presents Life Unrehearsed, a show about overcoming the obstacles life throws at us all. Life Unrehearsed, this afternoon at 3 on CJAD 800. Brought to you by Leanna Senior Transition Support, specialists in downsizing and seniors' residences.
Dashing through the snow is fine if you have winter tires. But if you've still got your all-season tires, it's more like slipping and sliding through the snow, which isn't nearly as catchy. See, winter tires are designed to perform better below 7 degrees. They remain flexible, giving you better grip and better braking. So, dash into your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac certified service dealer for new quality winter tires. Plus, you can instantly save up to $220 when you use your Scotiabank GM Visa card. Details at mycertifiedservice.ca.
Just so you know, if we win the cash with my Big Mac, I pick what we buy.
Fine. But if we win the car with my quarter pounder, I get to drive.
Well, what if we win on the fries? We're sharing.
Unless I eat more.
No way.
Coast to Coast Monopoly is back with over $80 million in prizes and 1 in 5 chances to win. Get in the game today and feel the thrill every time you play. While supplies last, chances of winning change as prices are claimed. See rules at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada or at mcdpromotion.ca.
If you could make a list of the things that make life worth living, what would be on it? The Siegel Center, in association with Hudson Village Theater, presents Every Brilliant Thing, a moving, funny, and interactive theater experience. Live theater is back. Be a part of the magic. Every Brilliant Thing, a celebration of gratitude, resilience, and the motivating force of love. On stage at the Siegel, October 24th to November 14th. Get your tickets now at siegelcenter.org.
With decor from Broe Martineau, you can really feel the moment.
Okay, don't laugh, but whenever I turn on my dishwasher, I feel like... Wow! What about the oven?
Until November 3rd, buy a fridge and range set and get the dishwasher for half price. And delivery is free on purchases of $799 or more. Broe Martineau, avowed to quality and price. Selected brands and models.
Honey, I don't know what's going on with your toenail.
It's a nail fungus infection.
But now I have it too.
Relax, it's nothing. It's contagious and eats away your nail.
It may be nothing, but it's gross.
It makes it brittle and discolored.
I'm telling you, it's no big deal.
And eventually, it can destroy it almost completely.
So it'll go away on its own?
Yeah, of course.
No, it won't go away on its own. It's an infection. Nail fungus should be taken seriously. At the first signs, show it to your doctor and ask about prescription treatments that can be applied to the nail.
When you say it makes all the difference, it's because something at some point makes everything better. If you want to buy or sell a property, that something is a RE/MAX broker. While you're thinking about it, at RE/MAX, we take care of it all. Discover how today.
We may have said goodbye to the sunshine, long days, and warm nights. But one thing we don't have to say goodbye to is our sense of adventure. Because with Volvo, it's always driving season. Meticulously designed with safety, comfort, and style in mind. We promise the journey into fall will be a ride like no other. Save $2,000 on the 2021 Volvo XC60. Conditions apply. Visit your Greater Montreal Volvo retailer or volvocarsmontreal.com.
I tried to save you.
Thursday on CTV Sci-Fi Channel and Crave.
We can save each other. What is all of this?
Star Trek Prodigy. New series Thursday on CTV Sci-Fi Channel and Crave.
This is The Car Show with Lisa Christensen, CJAD 800.
Yeah, Lisa's off. It's Ken sitting in, and happy to do so. Chad Kennedy, those doing all the work, licensed mechanic, many years of experience, doing a great job answering these calls. Let's get right back to it. Susan, you're in Westmount, and you have a question about your BMW, right? Susan?
Hi. My car is 2007, and it's working very well. But the mechanic said that needs about $2,000 worth of upgrading with the starter and a few other things. But my question is, do you think it's worth it because of electric cars coming on board? What's this car going to be worth in the end?
Well, look, it's a 2007. What kind of mileage have you got on this, and what model is it?
Not a lot, about 80,000 kilometers.
Okay. Well, look, there's an unfortunate fact to deal with when it comes to a lot of German luxury cars. They don't really have great resale value. So by the time it's around 2007, I wouldn't really be worried too much about resale. It's kind of like that ship has sailed. If the car's not giving you trouble and you're happy with it, and you don't have a lot of mileage, keep driving it. But I mean, the influx of electric cars will likely have an impact on the value of all internal combustion engine cars and trucks. But I don't think that resale value is going to be it's not going to be terribly affected at this point. It's an older vehicle. German cars are known to not have great resale value in the first place, so it's kind of a non-factor for you. I mean, if you're happy with the car and it's a legitimate investment you're making, by all means go ahead with it. But look, the future is electric, so be prepared.
After the repairs, do you think it's wise to take long trips on this car if it's so old?
Oh, look, sure. There's a lot of old cars. So long as they're maintained well and you have it inspected, there's no reason why that's what they're built for. So I would have no problem. Just so especially after what sounds like a lot of expense and upgrading, I would be happy to do that, depending on what your definition of long is. But if you're driving a couple hours at a time, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Susan.
Very much. Thanks.
Bye now. Let's go to Pierrefonds, and Helga's been waiting. Hi, Helga.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, we're good. You're on with Chad, and you want to talk about your Grand Cherokee.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay. I have a 2005 Grand Cherokee. The mileage is 242,000 kilometers. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to be purchasing it, but I want to know before I purchase it, if that car in that year, if I'm going to be anticipating a lot of repairs on it. It's in very good condition. It drives well. And they just redid the brakes, the muffler, and I have new winter tires on it.
Well, I mean, typically speaking, those years of Cherokees, you got to watch the body. They tend to rust from the underneath, so that is definitely a consideration depending on the condition that yours is in. Any 2005 with 242,000 kilometers, you can expect to have expenses regardless of the make. I mean, it's just a fact. Things get older, they're less reliable. So depending on the amount of driving that you're doing, it may or may not be so significant for you. But you can fully expect to have to do, regular maintenance, and things will come up, probably more so than, say, a 2020 Grand Cherokee, of course. Mm-hmm. So I personally own a lot of Cherokees of those years. They are, great for what they are, but at this point, at 2005, it's getting older. Don't be surprised if you start to see problems with transmissions or these things. Those years, they had full-time all-wheel drive. They are quite thirsty when it comes to fuel consumption as well. Something you may want to consider.
Yeah, that's a V8, but it's really
it's the V8.
Just a car.
Those things are. You're going to burn a lot of hydrocarbons.
A lot of hydrocarbons. Eh? Okay,
absolutely.
so basically,
keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's not going to be long road trips. It's just for around the neighborhood type thing,
Okay, so I mean, look, I'll tell you what, though, they are great in the winter. It's nice to have that, have the four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive traction. That is definitely one of the advantages.
Okay.
Thanks, Helga.
Good luck.
Bye now.
Okay, bye.
Let's head to the South Shore, Chad. This is Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Okay, I have the red brake light flashing.
Okay.
And a solid ABS sign, yellow. Mm-hmm. And it takes 20 minutes before they go on.
Chad, it's a 2004 Mercedes.
Okay. All right,
2000. Can I still drive with these lights blinking on and off?
Well, look, I mean, anything brake-related automatically becomes a safety risk. The fact that your brake light and your ABS is on and flashing, that, number one, means that your ABS system is not working. And so it's going to be kind of like older traditional brakes. And look, I will never advocate that somebody should drive a vehicle with brake warning lights. It's doing its job. It's saying there's something wrong with the brakes. The time may come where you need those brakes, like you really need those brakes, and they may not be performing optimally, and the consequences could be less than great.
But the brakes work fine.
If they're working fine, I mean, look, that's a judgment call. I personally would go get it checked out. It may be something simple. Maybe you just have like one bad sensor, especially on an older vehicle. It may not be a huge expense, and then your ABS will be working properly again. So for my advice to you would be at least go get it scanned and see what it is. Maybe it's not a big deal.
I had it scanned, and they said it was a module.
Oh, okay, so then that's going to be big money for sure, especially on an older Mercedes, if it is indeed the module. Look, if you're comfortable driving like that and you don't need the ABS, it's an older vehicle and you're not going to be keeping it too much longer, that's a judgment call you can make. Like I said, for my own personal safety, I wouldn't mess around with anything brake-related.
Okay. Do I have to replace only the module or the whole unit?
Well, it depends on how they're sold. Sometimes you can have an electronic component that actually bolts to a valve body part of the module. On those years, I'd have to, refresh my memory and see what it is. Rest assured, though, it won't be cheap.
The module is sealed. You cannot replace only the module.
Okay, so you have to do both sides of it. So then that's entirely possible. So I would start saving money now, sir, because you're going to need it.
Anthony, we got to run.
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck. Hey, Chad, thanks for another great hour, my friend.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Ken.
All right, Chad Kennemy filling in for Lisa. It's 10:57. Montreal Eats is coming up right after the 11 o'clock news. Kelly Albert's going to be learning all about Quebec gins and chatting with CTV's Mary Berg, the host of Mary Makes It Easy. Leave it right here on CJAD 800.
The opinions expressed in the preceding program are provided for information purposes only and are not necessarily those of CJAD 800 or Bell Media. The opinions do not constitute professional advice. Please contact your own automotive expert directly before making any decisions.
I never know when to switch to winter tires,
When it drops below 7 degrees.
I just wish there was some kind of a rule.
When it drops below 7 degrees, change to winter tires.
Based on science.
Below 7 degrees, the rubber compound of all-season tires hardens, leading to reduced traction even on dry asphalt. The softer rubber compound of winter tires grips cold surfaces better.
I guess we'll never know.
Come into your nearest Quebec Toyota dealer today. Get the right tires at the right price, thanks to our price match promise. When it comes to winter tires, details make the difference.
Terms and conditions apply.
What?
With tax deadline approaching, get your receipts and paperwork organized with the Epson Rapid Receipt Scanner. Quickly and easily process receipts and invoices. This tax season, get receipt relief with Epson Rapid Receipt Scanners. Available at select retailers and epson.ca.
I am going to Jean Coutu to get Halloween candies. Plus, I'll get 95 bonus miles, trick and treat.
Don't just buy the ones that you like this time.
Hey, I always get a wide variety to suit every taste.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Yeah. This Saturday and Sunday at Jean Coutu, spend $75 or more on almost anything and get 95 air miles bonus miles. It's the perfect time to stock up on Halloween candy. Chocolates, chips, caramels. There are treats in every size to suit every ghoul and goblin. Details at jeancoutu.com.
Mutual funds may not be in your best interest. Find out why with Louis Rosen, Senior Wealth Advisor, Rosen Group Private Wealth Management of Raymond James. Tomorrow afternoon at 4 on CJAD 800. Informed investors make better decisions.
Transform your travel budget into a renovation budget and get that new kitchen you've always wanted from Cuisine West Island. The kitchen is where your family gets together. Make it a room you want to spend more time in. Cuisine West Island will customize, manufacture, and install your new kitchen to your taste and to your satisfaction. They've been doing it for more than 20 years. And they're a local business, which means everything is made right here in Montreal. They're at 2758 St. Charles in Kirkland. Cuisine West Island, for those not easily impressed.
You're listening to the Voice of Montreal. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800, an iHeart radio station.
This newscast brought to you by Renovco, celebrating 20 years as Montreal's leader in home renovation and restoration. Renovate with the best. Renovco.com.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Sophia Meisenheimer with your CTV News Update. Cloudy skies today. It's 4 degrees. Your full forecast coming up in minutes. Here's what's making news right now. A planned downtown dance protest calls for clubs to reopen. Childcare educator unions not on board with the government's latest offer, and new details on the Hollywood set shooting. With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Jill Fitzgerald.
13 northbound, it's congested ahead of the T-Can for the Bisson Bridge. We have volume on the southbound side as well. 1 of 3 lanes closed north and southbound, costing at least 10 minutes. Tough drive on to Carry northbound, north of Queen Mary. No access to the 40 westbound. Shut down for the weekend between the Laurentian Autoroute and the Côte-de-Liesse entrance, suggesting you detour via Marcel Laurent. The Met westbound is heavily congested from Christophe Colomb. 15 southbound, 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuns Island until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And it looks like there's an accident at the end of the inbound side of the Champlain Bridge. La Fontaine northbound, that is closed for the weekend as well. The BMW certified sales event is on now until October 24th. Enjoy special offers plus a trade-in credit worth up to $1,500. Contact your local BMW retailer today. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJAD 800. Next report, 11:15.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. In the news, a festive public demonstration is planned downtown today to demand the right to dance this winter. The event, organized by the Coalition for Social Dance, is scheduled to start at 2 p.m. Protest co-organizer and Stereo Club owner Tommy Piscadellis tells CJAD 800's Ken Connors there's a double standard allowing the Bell Centre to operate, but not his club.
At the end of the day, it's the capacity, it's the room. The virus doesn't live on seats. And in a place like a Bell Centre or any other theater or venue where they have seating, they're dancing, they're singing, they're screaming, they're shouting. The police are okay with it. Everybody is okay with it.
Today's protest will take the form of a dance parade through the street. The improved government offer to childcare educators is not being well received by unions, even though it provides for up to a 20% salary increase over 3 years. Union representatives say requiring educators to work full-time to receive the full 20% increase is unfair. They say workers already work 4 days a week because their days are long, usually at least 9 hours a day. The CSQ union branch for childcare educators says it plans to announce a counter-proposal tomorrow. The Legault government has called for the renewal of collective agreements in childcare centres while promising to create 37,000 childcare spaces by the year 2025. Denis Fortin is challenging a federal court ruling that struck down his request for reinstatement as head of the COVID-19 vaccine distribution campaign.
A senior military officer's legal team says Justice Anne-Marie MacDonald erred in her ruling last week that Fortin needed to submit a complaint to the military before bringing his case to court. Fortin has been fighting for reinstatement after he was abruptly removed as vaccine rollout boss in May. It came 5 days before military police announced they'd referred an investigation of alleged sexual misconduct to Quebec's prosecution service. Senior military officer was charged with 1 count of sexual assault in August. Fortin has maintained his innocence. Jerry Smith, the Canadian Press.
And new details are emerging about safety concerns on the New Mexico movie set where actor Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Reporter Kaylee Hartung is in Santa Fe with the latest on the investigation.
The assistant director telling investigators he did not know there were any rounds in the gun. One crew member telling ABC News the issue of gun safety had been brought up by the camera crew and brushed off repeatedly by producers. In the past week, there were at least 2 accidental discharges of the prop gun on set, according to that member of the camera crew, who said a list of safety and other concerns prompted almost the entire camera department to walk off the set just hours before the shooting.
Baldwin described the killing as a, quote, tragic accident. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CJAD 800. Your Dormez-vous Weather Center forecast: cloudy today, a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon, high of 7. Mainly cloudy tonight, clearing after midnight, low +2. Mainly sunny tomorrow, high of 11. It's 4 degrees downtown. For all the news during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say play CJAD 800. Your next CTV news update is at 11:30.
This is Montreal Eats with Kelly Albert on CJAD 800.
Good morning, Montreal. How are you? My name is Kelly Albert. Thank you so much for joining me today on Montreal Eats. There is a great show coming up for you today. In fact, when I told Ken Connors what was going to be on the show, he said, wow, you're going to nail it today. Because a little bit later, we have Mary Berg. Yes, Mary Berg from Mary Makes It Easy. She has a new cookbook coming out, and we're going to be chatting with her about it. And to begin, all things gin. So if you listen to Montreal Eats, you know that I'm a huge fan of gin. I really enjoy different gins and trying different kinds of gins that they have available. And in Quebec, we have quite a few gin producers. There's a lot of distilleries, both in Montreal and around Quebec, that offer different types of gins, and their flavor profiles are different. And so if you want to know pretty much all there is to know about the different gins that are available in Quebec, I highly suggest you pick up this book. It's called Tout sur les gins du Québec. It's by Patrice Plante, and he joins me now. Hi, Patrice.
Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, and your introduction song was one of my favorites. So
oh, it's a great one, isn't it? It just, you can't be sad when you hear that song.
You can't.
Nor can you be sad when you're talking about gin, I feel. So this book is gorgeous. Congratulations on it, because it's truly like, if you have any questions about gin in Quebec, I feel like it's really covered in this book. How long have you been working on it?
Total 1.5 years, but the major of the work has been made in the last 6-7 months.
Incredible. And so it's really, and it's like an anthology. So you have, all the different descriptions of some gins in Quebec. You have cocktail recipes. So what inspired you to put this together?
I think it all began in April 2020, just at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm not saving lives at all in my work. So I try to bring some positivity and some joy in with what I do best, cocktails, and I started doing live every day with my fans, and I started to taste local product and give my insight on the big question: what do I do with this? And it was so popular that I just catch that there was so much choices at the FAQ. I mean, in 2016, we had like 12 local gins, and 5 years later, we will reach 200 gins if it continues on this path to craziness, if I can say. So I was like, there's a lot of choices. Gins is not regulated in Quebec, so you can do pretty much everything you want. You can have flavor profiles that are so different from one producer to the other. So I was like, this confused a lot, because there's a lot of new products, like 10, 20 every month. People do whatever they do with their distilling, the botanicals that they're going to use, even what kind of alcohol they're going to take to paint the canvas of the aromatics. So I was like, there's so much to do, so much to understand. So I wanted to do more than a guide. I wanted people to, when they select a gin that they like, I wanted them to know exactly what classic cocktails to do with it. I wanted them to know what kind of ingredients they can pair for the garnish, for the syrups, for the tonics. I wanted also people to know how the gin smells, how it tastes. So I really tried to pack all this in 400 pages. That was very, very complicated.
Absolutely. We're in conversation with Patrice Plante, the author of Tout sur les gins du Québec and the owner of Monsieur Cocktail. So what I appreciate that so much, because every page is really detailed. It tells you the alcohol percentage. It gives you the botanicals that are in the gin. So, for example, if you flip to one, it'll say like juniper berries and citrus and cucumber. And then it gives you a unique cocktail idea in addition to all of the classic cocktails you feature. So it's really comprehensive.
Yeah. And I was like, when you check out the flavor profile of a gin, you go on the SAQ website and it will say, this gin is floral. This gin is, citrusy. But a gin is more complicated than that. So that's why we came with, me and my team, we came with this new aromatic profile where we give you the percentage of everything that is in the gin. So for example, the Saint Laurent gin from Rimouski is like 20% marin, 20% herbaceous, and 40% juniper. So we wanted to be the more precise possible, and we added 4 new profiles to the mix that you see with the profiles of the SAQ to be more precise. And the big thing I think that will be interesting with this book and that will help people a lot is what we call the gin type. So since there is so much ways to do gin, because the distiller can do really everything they wanted, we separated every gin in 5 big categories. Every category has a list of objective characteristics that they have in common. And we place all the gin in those categories. So, for example, if you love, Romeo's gin and Stadacone gin, you check, those guys are type 2, type 2.5 gins. So normally, if you try any other gin in this category, you will like it.
And I really liked, too, that you offer the intensity of flavors because, something that is a stronger flavor, you might pair it differently than something that has a more mild or muted flavor.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and also the kick of alcohol. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe you came from the vodka people and it's your first sip of gin, really, and you don't want to be traumatized. So
sure.
Maybe you'll look for a gin that has a heat very low, that is not too intense on flavors because it's a first. And also, if you look at a gin and you see that the intensity of flavor is 5 is the maximum. So when you will drink it pure, you already know that it's gonna kick ass. Sorry for the expression.
No, I love it. And Patrice, we just have a couple moments left on the show. Patrice Plante, author of Tout sur les gins du Québec and owner of Monsieur Cocktail. Patrice, do you have a favorite gin cocktail? I mean, there's so many that you feature in the book. Is there one that you really, really like?
I have 2. The one for the big occasion, an anniversary, a big dinner with friends and family. I am a big fan of the last word, which is equal parts of gin, green chartreuse, Luxardo liqueur, and lime juice. So I think it's the perfect balance between the botanicals, the acidity, the sweetness, the bitterness of the chartreuse. It's very, very great. But the drink that I will make myself, not every day, of course, but more every week or every month, it's the dry martini. This is the king cocktail for me. You can do anything with this. You can change the vermouth, the quantity of vermouth. You can add citrus instead of olives. And depending on the season, you can always have a dry martini that makes, the weather outside. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic one. Yeah. That's
For
why
sure.
it's
And
on the cover page.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's 200 gins that you can make, a different dry martini with.
Exactly.
Well, Petrus, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I'll have to have you back on the show because you're just so fun to talk to.
Oh, Kelly, thank you so much. I had a blast. It was so fun. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Patrice Plante, author of Tout sur les gins du Québec, the owner of Monsieur Cocktails, where you have for sure seen Monsieur Cocktail products in your local grocery store. He has a bunch of syrups and different types of cocktail mixers to try, so definitely check that out. How fun was that conversation? Hey, coming up, Chop Fridge, 514-790-0800, 514-800. You tell me what you have in your fridge and I will help you put it together in a way that is delicious. But it is 11:15. It's time to see how the roads are doing. From the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Jill Fitzgerald. Morning, Jill.
Hi, Kelly. The Met westbound is shut down for the weekend between the Laurentian Autoroute and the Côte-de-Liesse entrance. Traffic is approaching Papineau on the Met westbound. Your detour is onto the service route. To carry northbound is Queen Mary. If you want to access the 40 westbound, you can do so via Marcel Laurent. 13 north and southbound lane closures on the Bisson Bridge, up to 10-minute delays. 15 southbound busy from Atwater for the Champlain. 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuns Island. And we have an accident at the end of the inbound side of the Champlain Bridge. Getting your flu shot at the pharmacy, help protect yourself against pneumococcal pneumonia at the same time. Ask if Prevnar 13 is right for you. Learn more at Prevnar.ca. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to Star 800. Next report, 11:30.
The CJAD 800 Trivia Show, a Sunday morning tradition for over 40 years.
Sunday morning would not be Sunday morning without Dan and Ken.
Trivia, tunes, prizes, and laughs with Ken Connors and Dan Laxer.
Guys, I want to tell you you're the best. You know that, eh?
Sundays 9 to noon on CJAD 800.
Kim, you didn't.
Oh yeah, I got a Bronco Sport. Check it out.
Nice. So what are goat modes?
Are you kidding? It goes over any type of terrain.
Uh-huh. Meaning?
That it can handle all kinds of terrain.
Like mud?
Yep.
Sand?
Duh.
Rocks?
Yes. Anything else, Kevin?
Hail.
The 2021 Ford Bronco Sport starting at $34,199. For details, contact your local Ford store or visit Ford.ca.
When my friends come over for supper, they just can't believe it. Bravo, Caro. Your presentations are so beautiful. Whoa, a work of art. Your scallops on a green pea coulis. It's so beautiful, I don't dare eat it. Ha. Great. What they aren't saying is that when your kitchen looks like ours, cooking anything is an act of magic.
Is it time? We're here. And we're offering you a free dishwasher when you buy a selected KitchenAid refrigerator and range. Germain Larivière. Details in store.
Technology offers us a world of incredible possibilities, but one day all of the devices in our lives, TVs, computers, printers, cell phones, sound systems, and many more, will be too old or obsolete. Chances are you have a few that are ready to be recycled. There's only one thing to do. Take them all to an authorized drop-off point of the Quebec Electronics Recycling Program. Because recycling old electronics is our strong point. Visit recyclemyelectronics.ca.
If you have flu-like or COVID-19-like symptoms, such as fever, cough, loss of taste or smell, or if you have been in contact with someone infected with the virus, it's essential to get tested and to follow isolation instructions, even if you're vaccinated. Screening remains one of the best ways to limit outbreaks. To find out more, visit quebec.ca/testcovid19. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
Today's Entrepreneur Profile is inspiring Quebec business owners every week. Up next, David Landry, founder of Living Safe, will talk to us about smart monitoring devices for the senior care industry, how he plans on freeing up time for busy nursing staff and using AI to improve the quality of care provided for seniors around the world. Join me, Dan Delmar, and FL Montreal's Euros Malekic, sitting in for Michael Newton on Today's Entrepreneur, today at noon on News Talk Radio CJAD 800, then on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and wherever you find your podcasts.
Until October 31st, the kids' menu at Cora is just $1. What's more, Cora will donate that $1 to the Breakfast Club of Canada.
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
No problem. Until October 31st, the kids' menu at Cora is just $1.
$1?
Yep, details in restaurant.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Donate today, and your car can be gone tomorrow.
Dashing through the snow is fine if you have winter tires. But if you've still got your all-season tires, it's more like slipping and sliding through the snow, which isn't nearly as catchy. See, winter tires are designed to perform better below 7 degrees. They remain flexible, giving you better grip and better braking. So, dash into your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac certified service dealer for new quality winter tires. Plus, you can instantly save up to $220 when you use your Scotiabank GM Visa card. Details at mycertifiedservice.ca.
I know that we haven't met, but I know your vibe. Are we skipping a step? Cause I really don't mind. It's like you've been in my bed a couple thousand times. Now we're at it again for the very first time.
From farm to plate and everything in between. Because Montreal Eats with Kelly Albert on CJAD 800.
You give me deja vu, this is feeling like a memory. Your lips look so familiar, and I don't know if this is real, just a liquor, but this feeling is major.
Welcome back to Montreal Eats. We are just about 15 minutes away from speaking with Mary Berg, whom I adore. I love her TV show. I love her cookbook. I have her first one. Her second one is delightful. And I really think that it's a great resource for people who love to cook. You know, it's really fun. I mean, I'm biased because I'm obsessed with cookbooks. I have so many cookbooks. I adore cookbooks. So definitely, I will always say, get a cookbook if you can. But it is time for Chop Fridge, 514-790-0800, 514-800. If you have a few ingredients in your fridge, I can help you put them together in a way that is delicious and hopefully satiates you, because, you know, this is a kind of an interesting time of the morning there. Maybe you're a little bit further away from your breakfast. Maybe you're coming towards your lunch. Maybe you haven't eaten yet. Maybe you're a little bit peckish for something. So do give me a call or send me a text message. I'd love to hear from you. And also, just a mini little endorsement. I have a website now. I put together a little website over the last couple of months with some of the recipes, because you listeners, listening to me, you're so excited when I talk about something, and then you ask me for the recipe and I don't have anywhere to put them. So I put together a recipe website for you. GâteauSuperstar.ca. There are about 12 recipes on there right now. There's contact information. There's some audio from Montreal Eats and my hits with Andrew Carter in the morning. So you can find the stuff that I talk about there. And you can also reach me there if you want to find my social media. It's all on the website. You can have my email, which is on the website as well. mtleatscjad800@gmail.com is still sticking around, so you can still email me there, but you can also email Kelly at GâteauSuperstar.ca. How cool is that? So do check it out. Let me know what you think, and, discreetly tell me if you find a typo, because I'm a one-woman operation here. 514-790-0800, 514-800 is the best way to get in touch with me. And I got an email earlier this week that's asked me for dessert ideas aside from cake. So this person is going to a little family gathering. The cake is already going to be made. And she asked for something to make in addition to that, to add to the sweet table. And so this time of year, I always sort of gravitate towards, sort of fall flavors, the pumpkin pie spices like cinnamon and ginger and clove and all of those great flavors. Cardamom is really nice. So there's a couple of different ideas I have that are, pretty easy depending on your level of expertise. So you can definitely make like a blondie or a brownie. Squares are super popular. They're very grabbable. You can just kind of grab a square and have it. And they're easy to kind of keep around. So if you don't finish all the squares, they're great to take home or, give out to the rest of the party as little treats to take home, because they do tend to last a couple of days. They will stay fresh for a while. So squares are a great idea. Cookies are awesome as well. I don't know if this person doesn't like cake. If you want something that's different but kind of looks like a cake, I've definitely made cookie cakes before. So cookie cakes before, they're like cookie size cakes, or cake size cookies, I should say. So they're quite big. And then you can ice them and stack them like a cake. They look really impressive. It's great if you're a fan of cookies. You know, you can do, any sort of little individual pie tarts, like, oh, this texture just texted in as well. Butter tarts, mince tarts, brownies, cookies, Nanaimo bars. Yeah, those are all great options as well. I really like to do little turnovers as well. So little hand pies are great. That's something where you don't even have to make the dough. You can just buy the dough from the store, because store-bought is fine. Honestly, I'm not very judgy about store-bought stuff. So you can definitely buy it from a store if you don't have the time or the patience to make pastry yourself. But you can make individual fillings yourself. So, you know, this time of year, it's great. There's lots of wonderful apples. You can make an apple filling. You can add some cranberries if you have some cranberries hanging around. Pears are really pretty this time of year. You could do like a lovely pear tart with a little kind of chocolate in there. Dark chocolate and pears pair really well together. You can do like a pumpkin filling in that. You could do all sorts of wonderful fillings. And then you just like fold them over like little turnovers, pop them in the oven, and they're great. You can even put like a little glaze on top if you wanted. So I hope that helps. I did get a question about cranberries too. So adding cranberries to fillings are really wonderful. I really like to do cranberries in sauces, and not just for Thanksgiving dinner. So if you make like a little cranberry chutney, that works great with, you know, pork tenderloin, or if you're doing chicken or anything like that. Cranberries freeze super well, so you can pop them in the freezer. And then when you're making muffins or, you know, anything that involves like granola bars or little breakfast bars, things like that, you can pop those cranberries in really easily. You know, salads, you can do like a little, reduced cranberry sauce for like a salad on the side. There's so many really great ways to do that. I'm a big fan of cranberries and dried cranberries. I use them a lot in my own cooking. And I find that they're a little bit more versatile with savory than you expect. A lot of people just think to have them with Thanksgiving dinner, but there's so many great ways to use them in different applications, even desserts. There's actually the New York Times. If you follow the New York Times cooking app, they have, you know, a little app that you can follow. They make this super impressive cranberry pie. So it's almost like a cranberry curd on the inside. It's this really bright, vivid pink color. It just looks super impressive. And it must be so like wonderful to have that kind of like silky curd texture, but with the like tart cranberries. It's one of those things that's it's saved in my app to try and put together one day. You know, when I have time to do recreational baking, which I don't always do, but I really enjoy recreational baking. I find I try to do like a lot of soups this time of year. You know, it's really cold, and I'm one of those people who likes to meal prep in advance. So usually my Sundays are spent, you know, either making like a breakfast for the week that I can pull out of the freezer and just heat up day of, or making a lunch for the rest of the week. So generally at this time of year, I make a ton of different types of soups. I'm a big soup fan. You probably know that if you listen to the show as well. So yeah, that's what, you know, Sundays are usually my meal prep days. I do all my chores. I go to the grocery store. I pick up some stuff for the week, and then I just start planning for the rest of the week. 514-790-0800, 514-800. If you have something that you would like to text in the last few minutes of Chop Fridge. After your news, we're going to be speaking with Mary Berg about her new cookbook, Well Seasoned. Really looking forward to that. And I think I'm probably going to fangirl a little bit. I mean, that's generally what I do when I speak with chefs that I'm a big fan of. I tend to get very excited to speak to them. So that's coming up as well. But there is still just a few more minutes left of Montreal Eats. Chop Fridge, not Montreal Eats. There's a whole half hour left of Montreal Eats. I do want to give a shout out to Restaurant Beba. We went to Restaurant Beba yesterday, which is one of my favorite little restaurants in my neighborhood. We go about once a month because we really do enjoy them. And they had such a lovely menu yesterday. It was really, really wonderful. And I did want to give them a quick shout out because it was a really wonderful experience. So After your news, we are going to be speaking with Mary Berg. But first, it is your CTV News Update with Nicole Peruano.
This newscast brought to you by CTV. An epic adventure unfolds in a dangerous and mysterious land. Get into a new episode of La Brea, Tuesday at 9, only on CTV.
Good morning, it's 11:30. I'm Nicole Peruano with your CTV News Update. Here's what's making news right now. The province is reporting fewer than 500 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, with 63% of those cases showing up in people who are unvaccinated, despite their making up less than 10% of the population. 4 new deaths were reported. Conservative Party leader Erin O'Toole is urging Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to drop the $100 billion 3-year stimulus package the Liberal government concocted in its most recent budget. O'Toole says federal investments that size risk causing more damage to the economy, given inflation is reaching highs not seen in nearly 2 decades. And a 4-year-old child has died in an ATV accident in Chaudière-Appalaches last night. The child was the passenger of a 4-wheeler when it tipped over for reasons still unknown. He was in critical condition when he was transported to hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Jill Fitzgerald.
15 southbound for the Champlain Bridge. 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuns Island. Traffic is congested to Atwater. There has been an accident at the end of the inbound side, so things are pretty jam-packed there. Inbound LaFontaine Tunnel, weekend-long closure, as is the Met westbound between the Laurentian Autoroute Côte-Liesse entrance. The Met is approaching Papineau. Decara northbound affected as well, up from Queen Mary. Lane closures affecting the drive both sides of the Bisson Bridge, losing a good 10 minutes. And there appears to be some roadwork underway affecting the drive on 20 westbound after St. Charles. Getting your flu shot at the pharmacy, help protect yourself against pneumococcal pneumonia at the same time. Ask if Prevnar 13 is right for you. Learn more at Prevnar.ca. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJAD 800. Next report, 11:45.
Your Darmavoo Weather Center forecast. A mix of sun and cloud today with a high of 7 degrees. Tomorrow, mainly sunny with a high of 11. And rain for Monday with a high of 7. Your next CTV News Update is at 12 o'clock.
Researchers at Concordia University are looking for couples who are overweight and want to improve their health during the pandemic. They are offering an online program to promote healthy eating and physical activity. Both partners must participate in the program and must be at least 50 years old. If you are interested, please email them at couples.concordia@gmail.com or call 514-848-2206. That's couples.concordia@gmail.com. 514-848-2206.
With decor from Broe Martineau, you can really feel the moment.
With the whole family settled on my brand new sectional sofa, I feel like...
Hey, can I give it a spin?
Until November 3rd, when you buy furniture or home decor, get up to $500 in instant cash back, plus free delivery on purchases of $799 or more. Broe Martineau, a vow to quality and price. Selected brands and models.
This is Valérie Plante, leader of Projet Montréal. As mayor, every time I visited your borough, you told me how great your neighborhood is, your local mom and pop shops, your parks, and your local schools. Isn't that what makes Montreal special? For the last 4 years, we invested in parks and making our streets safer. We helped small businesses and we invested in our quality of life. That said, there is still so much more to do, so let's keep moving forward.
Authorized by Carole Leroux, official agent.
Access Pharma at Walmart knows that when your allergies come back, you want your energy back. We can help thanks to our pharmacist's advice and medication for allergy symptom relief. Access Pharma at Walmart. This changes everything. A message from your pharmacist owners affiliated with Access Pharma at Walmart, the only ones responsible for the pharmacy practice.
And now, the I'm getting my car ready for winter category presented by Ford Service. Which package will give you the confidence to face winter?
The Winter Performance Package!
Yes! It includes tires, wheels, and sensors. What do you get when you buy this package?
Confidence?
Oh, not the answer I was looking for, but yes.
40,000 Ford Pass Rewards bonus points!
Yes! Where can you make an appointment to get your vehicle ready for winter?
I know, Ford Service.
Correct! Because at Ford Service, every part counts. Contact your Ford Service dealer today or visit Ford.ca.
Enter address. Your destination is 15 meters away. Exit your bed. Turn left. Go straight. traffic in the bathroom ahead. 7-minute detour.
Are there days when you work from home and don't use your car? With the Adjusto program by Desjardins Insurance, you could save money. Sign up today and get a 10% enrollment discount on your auto insurance premium for the first 6 months. Certain conditions, limitations, and exclusions may apply.
When a massive sinkhole opens in the middle of LA, separating a family between two worlds. Where the hell are we? Their only chance of survival is if they band together. La Brea, all new, Tuesday at 9, only on CTV. Then stream anytime.
Been around the world, I needed you to know. All around the world, I never thought I'd go. This far around the world, I needed you to know. I've been around, I had to find my way back home.
You're listening to Montreal Eats with Kelly Albert on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Welcome back to Montreal Eats. Kelly Albert here, and I am so excited to speak to my next guest. The first time Mary Berg and I spoke, I was like, I kind of want to be your best friend and just hang out with you all the time. And that was solidified by her new cookbook, Well Seasoned, because not only is it gorgeous and filled with delicious recipes, but we're actually wearing two of the same outfits. Like, we have two of the same exact outfits in it. Mary Berg is on the phone with me now. Hi, Mary.
Hello. I am thrilled to find out what outfit.
So we both have the pink sprinkle sweater from OK.
Best ever.
Which
I'm obsessed.
I'm wearing it now. No joke. And we have the same like banana lime dress that is featured in.
You're kidding me.
So I think it's like written in the stars that we should be friends. I'm just saying.
Kelly forever. This is the new thing. That's amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh, Kelly. Well, thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for joining me. And like, this cookbook is really, really lovely. Like, I have Kitchen Party. I have made a ton of stuff from Kitchen Party. And this one is like slightly different, but has the same sort of feel, like gorgeous pictures, really wonderful recipes, funny, hilarious stories. So there's so many good stories in this one. So when did you start working on Well Seasoned?
Oh gosh, I guess I started working on it pretty much as soon as Kitchen Party came out, as soon as kind of the big kind of press run and promo for Kitchen Party. And I feel like with this book, and I think it's kind of evident, I got a little like smaller world, which was kind of handy when the pandemic hit, and I wasn't trying to write an entertaining book again or a book where you're supposed to invite a bunch of people over. But I felt like I had like my sea legs. I'd done Kitchen Party. I kind of wanted to, with that book, I wanted to kind of banish the idea that inviting people over is stressful. But with Well Seasoned, I really wanted to show you like how I actually cook throughout the year and how it changes, and how at the beginning of every season, I am so jazzed to see the tail end of summer, because now it means that I get to make like soup all the time, and I'm really, really pumped about that.
I just said that I love making soup. This is like soup season is the best time of year for me. It's my go time.
It's so good. Yeah.
In conversation with Mary Berg, the author of Well Seasoned and the host of Mary Makes It Easy. And what's fun with this cookbook too is I find that you really show how different things kind of impact how you think about food. So, you have stories about going to Paris and how the stuff that you ate in Paris kind of influenced foods, and the story of the retro chicken, I love, and how you're just sort of thinking about retro chicken recipes. So is that like, are you always sort of piecing together items to inspire your menu?
I always joke that the internet to me is like only a thing to look at food. Like I always feel I go to like my 3 websites that I like, and then by the end I'm like, well, I'm done the internet for today. Because all I really do is think about food and think about the next meal I'm going to make, or flavors that I think would go together. And a lot of that is totally dependent on how I wake up in the morning. Like, I'm not great at deciding 3 days before what I'm going to be eating on a Wednesday, because I kind of want my mood to impact it. And that's why Well Seasoned, I kind of call it seasonal-ish, because it's not one of those books where we're using, ramps all the time, and you can only make this recipe for like 3 weeks in the spring, which I love cooking like that, but it's just not the most realistic. I think a lot of us cook things that are inspired by not just what's available, but also how we're feeling, also by the heat, by the cold, by so many different things. And with this book, I kind of wanted it to be seasonal-ish. Like, I sometimes make things that are from the spring and the fall and in the summer and the winter and switch it all around like that. But with these recipes, I just kind of, it felt really amazing to write, because I actually finished writing it right after the first lockdown took place and or started, and it was such a great kind of thing to kind of sit and be like, what do I want to eat? It felt kind of selfish, but in like a really good way, and I was pumped to share that with people.
I feel that's so rewarding, because when you kind of think about yourself in a way that is different, then you really can make things that appeal to other people as well, because you're like, I really like this, so I'm sure other people will really be into this as well. Totally. And I think that's the thing. I think with food, I'm not sure how old you are, Kelly, but I'm a 31-year-old lady, and food can sometimes have like all these negative connotations. And to me, I like to focus on how it makes me feel, and not just eating it, but like making it. And is it going to turn my mood around? Is me making donuts going to make me happier? Yes, it's going to make me happier. And thinking about how it can kind of impact not just my stomach and how hungry I am, but also how I'm feeling that day and how good it can make you feel. And I think that's a really neat thing, and kind of not kind of different, because I think that's just how food should be viewed. It's a good, delicious thing that should nourish all of the things in your life, not just your hunger. Absolutely. In conversation with Mary Berg, the author of Well Seasoned and host of Mary Makes It Easy on CTV Life channel, I do want to share a quick story with you, because that actually, what you just said, pairs perfectly into the story. I decided for my birthdays every year, I will bake something for myself for my birthday cake that I've never done before that's super fancy, because sometimes you don't really bake super fancy things for yourself.
No, never. I love that.
And the first year I made your tiramisu crepe cake. That was like my fancy birthday gift to myself, where I was like, I would never make this for myself, but Mary Berg makes it, so I'm going to make it for myself. And so it's now a tradition that every birthday I make myself. For the last 2 years, I've made myself something super fancy.
Obsessed with that. I think that's such a great idea, because it's totally right. I think, and even with Kitchen Party and even with my first show, Mary's Kitchen Crush, it was all about cooking for other people, which I obviously love to do, and is a big reason that I do cook. But I think looking at yourself and being like, now I'm going to treat me. It's treat yourself day. You can do that with your food, and I think that's so awesome. And that's kind of what Well Seasoned is about. It's the food that I like to eat and I like to cook. And I think it does definitely kind of cover how other people feel too. Like spring, it's kind of, you're over winter, you want bright flavors, and then the fall, you just want soup and golden brown food.
Yeah, the crispy Brussels sprouts with the tahini Caesar. I'm super into that. I've already bookmarked your Aaron's veggie chili and the pot pie. That's coming. That's going to be happening. But amazing. Do you have a couple favorite recipes in the book that you're I'm so glad I put this down on paper?
I mean, yeah, to be totally honest, I feel really selfish in that I use my own cookbooks, which feels very odd. I feel I'm is this okay? But it's nice that I wrote it down somewhere. So, but I love anytime I'm having people over and I want something kind of understated but delicious. That retro 80s chicken is out of control tasty and so simple. There is a orzo and turmeric soup with some tofu in it, and it's got kale, and it's kind of got that really good, almost chicken soup, but vegetarian vibe that is perfect anytime I feel a cold coming on or I just want to feel warm and cozy. The peanut butter banana cream pie is out of control. If I'm going to suggest, if I'm able to make a suggestion for your next birthday treat, it's delicious. But yeah, I think there's a lot of recipes in here that I'm turning to. I'm definitely making that veggie chili pot pie with the cornbread topping. I'm doing that literally next week. I went out and bought all the beans, and yeah, and that's the thing. I think if you ask me that question in a couple months, it'll totally change, because it's the things that you're excited about. And I think when you write a cookbook, you don't realize how kind of long it takes. And once you're done writing everything and then doing all the photos, sometimes at the end you're like, okay, cool, I get it. I don't want to look at this anymore. But when I finally got it in my hands, I was so excited to see that I was still pumped about the recipes in it. So it's really, really great.
I feel like that's such a testament to how wonderful and relatable your cooking is, because if you still like them, I think it's like a huge indication.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's true, because I think when you work hard on something for a long time, it's easy to just be like, ugh, never again. Similar to, I think, a lot of times with food, like if you're making a project meal, it doesn't taste as good as something that took less effort. So I always try to write recipes that take less effort than they kind of appear to. So there may be 20% effort, 15% effort, and 80% payoff. So you're still getting that like ratio of, I didn't even try that hard and this is amazing. That's kind of my whole mentality.
I absolutely love that. Mary, it's always such a joy chatting with you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much. Next time I'm in Montreal, we'll have to make this a fish.
Oh my God. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll both wear the pink sprinkle sweater.
Gosh, I love it. Yeah.
Amazing. Mary Berg, thank you again. That is Mary Berg. She is the author of Well Seasoned and Kitchen Party. You can see her on CTV Life channel. Mary Makes It Easy. It's a really great show as well. Hey, coming up, it's time for the weekly foodie poll. What is something that you can absolutely buy from the store but prefer to make homemade? I want to hear all of your answers. 514-790-0800, 514-800. You can share those with me. But it is time to see how the roads are doing. From the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Jill Fitzgerald.
Tough drive, both sides of the Bisson Bridge. 1 of 3 lanes closed, losing up to 15 minutes. Delays on the northbound side from the T-Can. Some are on the southbound side. The 40 westbound is shut down for the weekend between the Laurentian Autoroute and the Côte-de-Liesse entrance. Delays over to Papineau to carry northbound affected as well. Up from Côte Saint-Luc, I would detour via Marcel-Lorrain. The inbound Champlain, that is rolling better. Accident cleared. Lane closures creating volume on 15 southbound from Atwater. And the inbound tunnel, that is another weekend closure. Need new winter tires? Visit your Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac certified service dealer and save up to $200. Details at mycertifiedservice.ca. Let us know what you see on the roads. Calling your tips to Star 800. Next report at noon.
Saturday night's all-new lineup on CJAD 800 starts at 7 with Eat This.
You go and eat too much of something, and then you have to just take a little break for a while.
Pop Culture at 8 with Richard Krause.
This show has real life. It's a whole lot of fun.
Music's biggest names at 9 on Famous Last Words.
It's Mick Jagger in Conversation from 1986.
And at 10, settle in for a chat with Jan Arden.
In a pinch, the Big Mac bun is not a terrible plant-based meal.
Saturday nights are all new on CJAD 800.
Today is a 20 times the points event. It's a big deal, and it's exclusively at Pharmaprix. So whether you're shopping for essentials or looking for a pick-me-up, let us help make your day just a little bit brighter with a lot of points. Shop today and get 20 times the PC Optimum points when you spend $50 or more on almost anything in store at Pharmaprix. That's 30% in points. More points equals more free stuff, and free feels good. Details in store.
Now trending, the latest in lifestyle with Andrea Elias and Orla Johannes.
Hi, I'm Andrea.
And I'm Orla.
This week, how to help your dog live younger, healthier, and longer. Rodney Habib, the author of The Forever Dog, will join us.
Plus, we'll chat to The Cocoa Way, the team behind The Cocoa Way, to talk about how to reset your home inside and out for fall.
Now trending, powered by DeCarry Motors, Montreal's home of British automotive luxury for 75 years, and by Fuel It Canada, bringing gas to the 21st century. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 on CJAD 800.
People want to work with you because you're great at what you do, right? Well, RE/MAX brokers know the market better than anyone at any time, and that's why you should work with one of them. Well, you're thinking about it. At RE/MAX, we take care of it all. Discover how today.
Winning the Grand V lottery is $1,000 a day for life. It's like getting money from the Tooth Fairy, except instead of a little quarter under your pillow, it's a big $1,000 directly into your pocket. You also get to keep all your teeth. Makes you want to smile, right? And also, on October 25th and 28th, there are even more chances to win with our bonus draws. Yep, 3 bonus prizes of $25,000 a year for life to be won each draw. You could finally get those gold teeth. Or not. Grand V. Draws Mondays and Thursdays, 18 and over.
When you hide junk in a closet,
or in a cabinet,
or in the attic,
or in a shed,
or under the bed,
it multiplies
exponentially.
Take a look in any of those places,
and you'll find junk you've never seen before.
Most people don't find it until they're getting ready to move.
That's when they say,
I should have gotten rid of this years ago.
Don't wait years. Do it now.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is coin.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
When you tell your girlfriend, get changed, you're dressed like a tramp. Change your password so I can see your messages. When are you going to change your mind, you stubborn idiot? Change your attitude when you talk to me. Change your friends. You better change your tone of voice. It's not up to her to change. It's up to you. Violence against women stops now. Talk about it. Do something about it. And call SOS Violence Conjugale. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
With decor from Broe Martineau, you can really feel the moment.
Okay, don't laugh, but whenever I turn on my dishwasher, I feel like... Wow, what about the oven?
Until November 3rd, buy a fridge and range set and get the dishwasher for half price. And delivery is free on purchases of $799 or more. Broe Martineau, about to quality and price. Selected brands and models.
The more time passed, the more the basement smelled.
Examining the walls more closely, there was mold, traces of moisture.
Panic time!
If you're worried about your basement, don't panic. Système Sous-Sol Québec handles all your basement water infiltration and moisture problems and your nasty crawl spaces too. Système Sous-Sol Québec, permanent solutions for your basement, warranted for life. Visit fixbasement.ca for all things basement-y. That's fixbasement.ca.
CTV's The Voice has gone grande. Ariana Grande. The new coach that's shaking things up and making everyone hit all the right notes.
Hope you choose me.
Get into The Voice, Monday at 8, only on CTV. Then stream anytime.
Litracits Opticians are in their 50th year. How does a business stay in business for so long? By doing what they do well with great customer service. As dispensing opticians, Litracits have been taking care of your family's vision like their own. With the best in eye care, lenses, and a wide variety of frames from partners like Essilor, Maui Jim, Bevel, and more. Trust the family touch. Trust Litracits Opticians to Carrie and Isabella for 50 years. At Litracits, you'll see.
Where delicious meets healthy. Montreal Eats with Kelly Albert on CJAD 800.
Welcome back to Montreal Eats. I realize how excited I was to speak to Mary Berg. I know. I apologize for being very excited, but I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that we would be pretty good friends if we were to, hang out in Montreal, both wearing pink sprinkle sweaters. I'll share a picture of my pink sprinkle sweater because I'm quite a big fan of it. But it was really fun to chat with her, and I do genuinely really enjoy her cookbook as well. And speaking of cooking, it is time for the weekly foodie poll. 514-790-0800, 514-800. I want to hear from you. So if you've never heard Montreal Eats before, every week I ask a question on my social media and then during the show, and I hope you weigh in on it because I like to know what you're cooking, what you're making at home, because it's fun to get to know you. I chat with you every weekend, so I want to know a little bit about you as well. So my question this week is, what is something that you can absolutely buy from a store or a restaurant, but you just prefer to make homemade yourself? For me, I know this is like a soup themed show, but I really do enjoy making my own soups. My boyfriend makes great chicken stock and beef stock and veggie stock. So generally, I always have stock around and I make really wonderful soups from scratch. And I don't always write a recipe for them, which is a bad habit, but I'm working on that. So that definitely, I would say also muffins for myself personally. I tend to find muffins that you get from the store a little bit too sweet. Bakeries are different. Like if there's a really beautiful muffin at a bakery, I'll try that. But generally, if you get them from the grocery store, they tend to be a little on the sweet side. So I do like to control the sweetness that I have in my muffins when I make them from home. pretty much any sort of breakfast that I make. I like to control the sweetness if it's on the sweet side. So I asked this on my Instagram earlier this week, and I got some really wonderful answers. Stock was one that came in a lot. Any sauces or soups was a really popular answer. Actually, I got a lot of pies, which surprised me because pies is a commitment. You have to commit to making a pie. So Sab said apple pie, Peggy said pies, Jenny said apple strudel, which sounds incredible. Diane said lasagna, chicken soup, hamburgers, cookies, salads. Hamburgers too. Hamburgers from home are very different. Muffins. Katya said anything gluten-free. Aaron said chicken stock. Pat said Indian food. Restaurant Indian food is not the same at all. I would very much like to get a lesson or two from that. Wendy said cream puffs. I make them every year for our son's birthday. He likes them better than cake. We had pierogies, bread. Definitely really fun recipes. Matt O'Hayan, technical producer extraordinaire, do you have something that you prefer homemade?
I don't make it myself, but definitely mom/grandma's chicken soup for sure.
I would say that you brought me a little Tupperware of your mom's salad crit, and all day, every day, I could do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even out of the question because I don't buy it. We don't buy that when we're out at whatever restaurant has that on the menu. We just don't do it because it's just not going to be as good.
Oh yeah, no, it's delicious. And hi, Matt's mom. She makes it super well, and so definitely, I can imagine her chicken soup is incredible.
Oh yeah, it's top notch. My favorite is when she leaves the chicken soup, boiling and cooking, I guess, a little bit too long, so the broth gets a little dark.
Extra flavor.
Yeah, I dream of that happening because she has a set time that she cooks the soup for, and then she'll never go over. But one time she forgot about it, and it ended up being the best soup she's ever made.
Wow, concentrated and yummy. I bet I can get behind that. Absolutely. Ro just texted in to say, I'd rather make my own potato salad. Yeah, potato salad, there's something special about it homemade. It's never the same when you buy it from the store. The potatoes aren't done properly. I don't know. Thank you so much for weighing in, everyone. I really appreciate all of your messages. I love chatting with you. You can check out my new website, gattosuperstar.ca, for more information. The whole episode will be up on CJAD800.com very shortly, so stay tuned for that. Thank you, Matt O'Hayan. Thank you at home for listening. Today's Entrepreneur is next, but first it is your CTV News Update with Nicole Proano. I will chat with you next week. Take care until then.
Transform your travel budget into a renovation budget and get that new kitchen you've always wanted from Cuisine West Island. The kitchen is where your family gets together. Make it a room you want to spend more time in. Cuisine West Island will customize, manufacture, and install your new kitchen to your taste and to your satisfaction. They've been doing it for more than 20 years, and they're a local business, which means everything is made right here in Montreal. They're at 2758 St. Charles in Kirkland. Cuisine West Island, for those not easily impressed.
This past year has been challenging, with many of us facing unexpected expenses, lost wages, and rising credit card debt. We all need a little help from time to time, but it can be hard to ask for help when it comes to your finances. But guess what? You're not alone. Millions of Canadians share that feeling with you. 500,000 Canadians have found help with their debt, and so can you. With Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada, they are one of the largest nonprofit credit counseling organizations in the country, with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They can help you consolidate your bills into one affordable payment, minimize your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. No matter how much you owe, you don't need to do this alone. To get help, call 1-800-288-4991. That's 1-800-288-4991. Let Consolidated Credit get you back to a debt-free life. Call 1-800-288-4991. Make the call today. Toll free at 1-800-288-4991. Ontario license number 4705786.
Today, Chris didn't expect to need intact insurance on his short drive, but across town, a young woman's alarm didn't go off, which made her miss her morning meeting.
No!
So now the coworker she was supposed to meet has time to walk her dog, whose leash broke just as Chris was taking a turn. So he swerved away, but got in a minor fender bender. Since you can't expect the unexpected, you can submit a claim on the Intact Insurance app. And just so you know, the dog's all right. Conditions apply.
Every new Mazda CX-5 is designed to create a unique connection with the driver, even when you're not behind the wheel. Enjoy a 2-year free trial of Mazda Connected services and connect to your CX-5 from virtually anywhere using the My Mazda app. Start your vehicle remotely, check the fuel level, unlock the doors, and more. Visit your dealer and get up to a $500 Mazda bonus, plus our unlimited mileage warranty, which comes standard on all new models. Visit your Mazda dealer today. On select new models, conditions apply. Details at Mazda.ca.
You're listening to the Voice of Montreal. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800, an iHeart radio station.
This newscast brought to you by CTV. Ariana Grande is the new coach on The Voice, who's shaking things up. Get into it, Monday at 8, only on CTV.
Good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. I'm Nicole Proano with your CTV News Update. It's currently 6 degrees. Weather details in minutes. Here's what's making news right now. The province is reporting 451 new cases of COVID-19 and 4 additional deaths because of the virus. Hospitalizations in the province declined for a 5th straight day with an overall of 255. The number of people in intensive care remained unchanged at 68. U.S. federal scientists say kid-sized doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine appear highly effective at preventing symptomatic infections among elementary school children. The Food and Drug Administration posted its review late yesterday ahead of public meeting to consider opening vaccinations to kids 5 to 11. Reporter Elvin Lopez has more.
The company claims its vaccines are nearly 91% effective against symptomatic COVID in kids 5 to 11. With no reported cases of myocarditis, a rare type of heart inflammation.
The FDA will ask an outside panel of experts to review its analysis and vote on whether to recommend the shots next week. Supply chain issues in the U.S. are leading to a nationwide drug shortage. The American Medical Association says it calls it an urgent public health crisis that threatens patient care and safety. The FDA is lifting 115 drugs in short supply nationally. 3 of the top drugs that are getting scarce are used for chemotherapy, heart conditions, and antibiotics. And Projet Montréal is promising a new commemorative space for the Irish community if re-elected. The site would sit near the Black Rock Monument on Bridge Street and Point St. Charles and be produced in collaboration with the Montreal Irish Park Foundation and Hydro-Quebec. The party says it would honor the 6,000 Irish who died of typhus between 1847 and 1848. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at CJAD 800. With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Jill Fitzgerald.
The Met westbound has become a bit of a parking lot from Papineau over to the Laurentian Auto Route, where you will be detoured onto the service road. 40 westbound closed from that point for the weekend to the Côte de Liesse entrance, affecting the drive up from Côte Saint-Luc. On the northbound side of Decarie, you can detour via Marcel Laurent. 20 westbound had some volume building through the yards. 13 southbound accident clear, delays almost from Saint-Martin, losing about 15 minutes on the northbound side. Outbound 15, 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuns Island. Traffic is congested from Atwater, and the inbound La Fontaine Tunnel is also closed. The BMW certified sales event is on now until October 24th. Enjoy special offers plus a trading credit worth up to $1,500. Contact your local BMW retailer today. Let us know what you see on the roads. Calling your tips to star 800. Next report, 12:30.
Your Derby Weather Center forecast: a mix of sun and cloud today with a high of 7. Tomorrow, mainly sunny, a high of 11. And Monday, rain with a high of 7. It's 6 right now downtown. For all the news during the day, stream us on your smart speaker. Just say, play CJAD 800. Your next CTV News update is at 12:30.
Welcome to Today's Entrepreneur, a program about the entrepreneurial spirit that drives Quebec business, presented by FL Montreal, season number 13, by the way, and Dan Delmar and Euros Malekic sitting in for Mike Newton today. Euros, welcome back to Today's Entrepreneur. Nice to be with you.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me on. I think it's been a full year almost since my last appearance, but these days it feels like it was yesterday.
Tell me about yourself real quick. You're a consultant at FL. How long have you been there? What is your area of expertise?
So I've been with the firm now for just over 13 years. My book of clients really ranges. I have companies that are small enough, just starting off, not necessarily incorporated, but need some guidance at the beginning stages of their growth. And then I have companies that are big enough to be public, but they're not. The common factor is they're all privately owned companies, a lot of family owned businesses. So you see the different generations get involved, and it's really fascinating. I mean, what I like the most about what I do is being able to integrate myself into what clients are doing and add value. If I can add value, I need to be the first person to tell them that and then point them in the right direction. So I love helping people in any way I can, whether it's for their business or personal stuff. I'm here. If you have a question, I'll be happy to help walk you through it.
Great. So we have David Laundrie on the program today. He's the co-founder of Living Safe, a brand new company. So this is actually an all millennial show today. So I'm looking forward to this. And David is going to talk about these smart monitoring devices for the senior care industry. Living Safe is part of the Centec Group, which is an incubator that resides at the old planetarium, actually, in downtown Montreal. Government funded, privately funded, and an incubator for some really interesting tech businesses. So David will be along on the program as well. And later in the program, we'll talk to FL's expert on estates and trusts, and the importance of getting that straightened out as you sort of straighten out your financial affairs in general with business. First, the leadership, the thought leadership segment, as we call it, Euros, or the thing we call thought leadership, because we don't love that term here on Today's Entrepreneur. But nonetheless, you brought this story to the table from Fast Company, and I think it's great because you are very much a motivational guy. I've seen you with clients, and you like to motivate them. And this piece is about procrastination from Fast Company. Procrastination is an emotional problem. If you are managing someone who is procrastinating or not getting their work done on time or seems unmotivated or otherwise just not into it, what can you do with that? And how can you help them?
Right. So I think, the first point is that I'm sure that we can all admit to having procrastinated with something at some point in time. It is like what this article is saying is it's really an emotion management problem. The success, like you have a task at hand, there's a project to be done. You forecast that it's going to be painful. And so your mind tries to have you avoid that pain or discomfort. So you just end up delaying the task at hand. And that's really the issue. So the solution is the success factor to go around that is breaking down what that task or project is into smaller milestones. And then as you achieve these smaller milestones, you have a sense of satisfaction. And that's what keeps you going and motivated. What I like to do, Dan, and we've spoken about this, off a show in the past, is I like to keep tabs on what I have to do. So as things come in, I'm a little old school in the sense that I keep an Excel sheet going of my to-do list, essentially. So I add things to that and I take them off as I complete tasks, and I can easily move things around. I realize that there's more sophisticated ways of getting that done these days. But like I said, I'm a little old school. So I use an Excel sheet. I used to use, you're showing me people, the listeners can't see it, but you're showing me a pen and paper. So
my to-do list is right here on my notepad every day.
I've evolved from that, Dan. You'd be happy for me. But really what it does is it brings things into perspective in terms of what is the big picture of what you have to do in a given day or week or month. And it allows you to prioritize those tasks. If you don't see the full picture of what you need to do, then you may fail in prioritizing because you might give something priority, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that important. So that's what's been working for me over the last few years. And I keep doing that, stick, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So yeah, that's what's good for me. And obviously applying hard deadlines to yourself, sort of forces you into getting things into gear and getting stuff done.
I'm sure you agree, but the listing especially, to me, might be a pain in the butt at the beginning of your day sometimes, but it really creates a Zen atmosphere throughout your day when you know what you have to do that day and everything's under control. And it also mentioned that it's also good neuroscience, by the way. There's a book that I read this summer called Atomic Habits. And in Atomic Habits, they describe the benefits of listing and of creating a to-do list for yourself. And it also speaks about the benefits of what they call habit stacking. So getting into a routine where you're stacking one habit and one routine after the other. So I write my morning list, I have my tea, I walk the dog, etc. And, works for me.
For sure. And I think another important aspect of the list is make room for things that are not expected. So that's one thing I realize as your responsibilities grow, there's a lot more unknown that can come your way, versus when you're starting something off in your career, it's a lot more defined as to what you need to do and by when. But yeah, as things change and as your career evolves, it's more and more difficult. So you just need to keep up the pace and get better, to make things look easier.
This story from Inc.com on the job shortage, which affects everyone really in North America. And it's hitting us hard here in Quebec as well. Whenever you drive to a commercial district, or a small town, you're bound to see help wanted signs everywhere. This piece talks about rethinking hiring. What would you give Euros as advice to entrepreneurs who are looking for an edge, looking to just have a little leg up on their competition in terms of hiring?
I think the culture and the tone that's set at the top is extremely important. Like, it's no secret right now. There's, skilled labor shortage. There's a problem in terms of who's available to do the required skills for a particular job, and they may not meet what's required. So you're sort of just grabbing what you can in terms of, team members potentially, and you may pay the price later. I think you can avoid that problem if you set up a culture within your company that's, you have clear direction on where everyone's going. You're allowing people to grow, and upskill opportunities are presented to the team members. Because there's surveys and pollings that they've done to show that it's not always about money. It's easy to lose someone on money, but in order to really keep talented people, they're saying that nearly 2/3 of employees would leave their job if they're not presented with upskilling opportunities. So how do you solve that problem? You need to have training tailored specific to what people's needs are. Listen to your team members. Find out what it is they want, identify potential problems before they come to fruition in a bad way, and be proactive with that. And then another possible solution to me is, instead of losing someone to a competitor, look at options. If they want to do something different than what they're doing now, is there an opportunity within your four walls in rotating roles, between departments, and having someone do something else for a change that they may be stronger at and that you just haven't seen because they've been in another role this whole time. So being open to those kinds of things and being flexible with your team members and trying to optimize everyone's strengths.
The conditions to attract and keep your top employees once you get them there, also from Inc.com. What are your thoughts on that? Because just as hiring is a problem, retaining is also a big problem right now.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to speaking with David on that later in the eventual segment that we'll have, and speaking with him on his company. But I think you need to create, again, an environment where you're aligning everyone to the goal of the company. Creating a sense of belonging and accountability and commitment for everyone, following through on what you say you're going to do. Like, look, if you build an all-star team, no one's going to want to leave an all-star team. They're going to want to keep playing for that team and keep performing at the high level. You're setting certain expectations. But if you're sort of loosey-goosey with that stuff, then, you're at risk of losing talent. So again, you got to really be in tune with your team members and not lose sight of that. I think, the pandemic, if one thing, it was an eye-opener into how important it is to give people feedback and stay in communication with them. And it doesn't, an email sometimes can get, lost. Pick up the phone, and face to face, obviously social distancing and whatnot. But I think it's important to stay in touch with your team members and identify things early before they become a problem.
And lastly, on the same theme, solidifying your team. If you can't get that top employee, if you can't develop new talent, well, you often have to rely on independent contractors. What are your thoughts on that, on basic rules there? Another story from Inc.com. I've certainly used a lot of independent contractors and had great experiences.
Yeah, that's a good one. You have to keep in mind the different criteria that they're in place. I mean, this article that you're referring to, I think is based out of the US. They have similar, not the same criteria that we have here in Canada. Here in Canada, it depends on whether you're talking about a worker that's in Quebec or in Canada outside of Quebec. There's overlapping criteria, but they're not exactly the same. You gotta really look at what is the intent of a relationship. So is it a contract of service, which is really more of an employer-employee type relationship? Or is it a contract for services, which is more of a business type relationship where you can argue that it's a contract worker? And the difference is, as an employer, you may prefer to have, there's other variables involved, but long story short, you may prefer to have a contract worker versus an employee. From a deductions at source perspective, there's costs involved for you for having an employee. But you need to be really careful with this stuff because if you go down the rabbit hole of just saying everyone's a contractor when they're in fact not, you may pay the price later. It's going to be a much heftier price than what you thought you saved in not doing it properly. So the criteria are, just to sum it up quickly, is, you got to determine the intent. Like I said, you got to look at the level of control that the payer has over the worker's activities, who's providing the tools and equipment, the degree of financial risk that the worker takes, and things of that nature. And obviously the agreement that you have in place with the workers is extremely important as well. So if you don't have a professional advisor, I suggest you seek one out to make sure that things are done properly so that you can go to sleep at night.
And also just in terms of the relationship with them, I've noticed on my end, it helps to not give them too many responsibilities. Like I've seen some agencies give freelancers email addresses and, Slack accounts and stuff like that. My advice would be to, save those responsibilities for those that are on the team permanently. That's a little too much sometimes for freelancers to deal with.
Yeah, certain things. I mean, again, when you're looking at these criteria, and this is really if something goes under audit by a government auditor, they're going to look at all the facts and they're going to paint a picture of what they believe the relationship is. And if you don't have a position to argue, if you don't have things in your favor to argue the position that you've taken, well, then you're going to lose that argument.
Do invite them to the Christmas party, though, that you can do. Coming up next, we'll chat with a young entrepreneur out of the startup community at Centec in downtown Montreal, tech company. They do smart monitoring for senior care. So David Landry, founder of Living Safe, will join us coming up next on Today's Entrepreneur.
Now an update from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center.
20 westbound has filled in ahead of Angrignon to First, presumably due to the closure of the 40 westbound for the weekend between the Laurentian autoroute and the Côte de l'Est entrance. That is impacting your drive onto Carrie northbound up from Côte Saint-Luc, and the 40 westbound itself bogs down after Papineau. Detour onto the service road, 13 north and southbound, costing about 15 minutes for the Bisson Bridge. 15 southbound, 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuns Island, and it looks like there's an incident now around de la Vérendrye on 15 northbound. From navigating showrooms to wandering through the market hall, IKEA is more than a store, it's an experience. Visit IKEA in-store today. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to star 800. Next report, 12:30.
The mayoral candidates face off on CJAD 800. Denis Coderre, Valerie Plante, and Balarama Holness will debate the issues that matter to you. Submit a question to debate@cjad.com and then listen in October 28th, 5:30 to 7 on CJAD 800.
Dashing through the snow is fine if you have winter tires. But if you've still got your all-season tires, it's more like slipping and sliding through the snow, which isn't nearly as catchy. See, winter tires are designed to perform better below 7 degrees. They remain flexible, giving you better grip and better braking. So, dash into your local Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac certified service dealer for new quality winter tires. Plus, you can instantly save up to $220 when you use your Scotiabank GM Visa card. Details at mycertifiedservice.ca.
Find spooktacular savings at Walmart. Save $4.03 on a 50-count box of Nestle Mini Assorted Candy Bars. Now, only $4.94 at Walmart.
Until October 31st, the kids' menu at Cora is just $1. What's more, Cora will donate that dollar to the Breakfast Club of Canada.
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
No problem. Until October 31st, the kids' menu at Cora is just $1.
$1?
Yep, details in restaurant.
With decor from Broey Martineau, you can really feel the moment.
With the whole family settled on my brand new sectional sofa, I feel like...
Hey, can I give it a spin?
Until November 3rd, when you buy furniture or home decor, get up to $500 in instant cash back, plus free delivery on purchases of $799 or more. Broey Martineau, a vow to quality and price. Selected brands and models.
Before you buy or sell a home, listen to The Real Estate Show for the best real estate advice in town. With mortgage and real estate leader Terry Kalakos of Northeast Real Estate and Mortgage Agency. The Real Estate Show, tomorrow afternoon at 1 on CJAD 800.
Welcome back to today's Entrepreneur, inspiring stories from outstanding business people by FL Montreal. Dan Delmar and Euros Milikic sitting in for Michael Newton today. And Euros, let's get right to our profile, shall we? He is a young entrepreneur, and so this is a startup show. We have with us David Landry, who's the founder of Living Safe. They do smart monitoring devices for senior care. David, welcome to today's Entrepreneur.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So the first question is the very easiest. Just tell us what you do for a living. What is Living Safe?
Right. So I am David Landry. I'm the CEO and one of the founders of Living Safe. And essentially what we do is we've created a technology that in the most private way possible allows staff to get all the information and all the important information that they need from care units.
And tell me about what kind of technology you use. So you are using AI. What kind of data are you gathering?
Right. So that's a super interesting question. Essentially, the type of sensor that we do use in our technology is radar-based sensors. So no imaging, no cameras, nothing to wear on your body. And within 15 minutes, plug and play, install it on the wall, and essentially transforms a regular care unit into an intelligent unit.
David, so in terms of what's on the market right now, is there something similar as a product, I guess, that works differently or in the same fashion?
Right. So what we typically find inside care units today is very far from our technology. Essentially, it's places where staff is limited, and on top of that, they're very limited in the type of tools that they have to get information on the residents. And so even today, the best way they have of actually going to get the information that they need is when they physically go check up on every single resident.
Right. And that's obviously with, limited staff, it becomes increasingly difficult to do exactly that. No, I could definitely see, the need for something like this. You mentioned that the device is, or you were alluding to it, it's non-intrusive. So explain that a little more in terms of, is there any certain barriers around this device, like specific materials that can infringe on it doing its job?
Okay, that is a very good question as well. So what's very interesting about radar technology and radar waves in general is that it's able, depending on the frequency, to go through certain types of materials. In our case, yes, there is some materials that could limit this, but most materials inside care units allow us to go right through them, making our range of detection very interesting.
Okay, so the concept is you have these set up in a senior home, and they're in specific rooms, and the nurses that are working at this facility are made aware if there's an issue, if a person doesn't happen to be where they're supposed to be at a specific moment in time, they're made aware kind of in real time, and they can act on that.
That's exactly it. So once we've installed our devices into these units, from their device that they get the information on, they're able to now have insight on what's going on in real time in every single one of these units. allowing them to be just able to offer a better quality of care. They could increase the security for the residents and really just react much quicker when an event happens.
And is there, because there's always a concern from whether it's the children of the seniors at a specific facility, and how they're, the communication between the facility and these, let's say, the children. Is there a specific communication tool with respect to the device and those other people that are involved in the life of the senior? Like, are you able to bypass the facility with this device, or does it still have to be streamlined through, or can it be both?
So, if I understand your question correctly, for sure in the care unit setting, then it's absolutely streamlined directly with the staff, right? Just to be the most effective possible. Whereas this technology could absolutely be adapted for home care, for example, and then therefore the information will not necessarily go to staff, but maybe to family members, or even caregivers that come to the home.
Okay, so the capabilities there, great. No, definitely, because the point I was making is really sometimes it's difficult because the staff at a care facility is swamped, and they may be overwhelmed with their duties and responsibilities. And I think, it's always a concern for the family members of an individual as to how they're doing. And instead of sort of bogging down the phone lines, if they're able to get an update, a safety update, I guess, using this device that you're producing, I think that's a huge advantage that I could see.
David, one question. Obviously, senior care, huge industry right now with the demographics being what they are. How did you find your way to this industry?
Right. So it actually came from a personal experience of mine. When I was 11 years old, we put my grandmother into a retirement home. It so happened that several months after that, she fell in the middle of the night. And since she was in an autonomous setting, they don't necessarily go check up on them as much. And unfortunately, she had to wait 12 hours before staff found her. So until the next morning when it was time to go eat. Naturally, when you suffer an injury and you need to wait 12 hours, any type of injury will just, become worse. And if you're not able to react quickly to serious injuries, well, in my grandma's case, it ends up being the event that really takes away her autonomy and really reduces her quality of life significantly. So that experience kind of always stuck with my family. And as I was studying to become an engineer, I was learning about all these interesting types of sensors and technologies that could be used. And right away, I did the link to this situation and how we could use technology to basically create something that's more autonomous, that the effectiveness of our solution doesn't rely on the seniors to, let's say, press a button or wear anything. So to truly make something that we believe could really improve the quality of care given to seniors.
That's amazing. Euros, how often do we see entrepreneurs that start a business based on a personal experience? It's such a great way to start your life's work.
Yeah, definitely, Dan. And, a lot of the success stories come in facing some sort of adversity, whether it's directly with you or someone that you know. And so certainly big success stories stemming from potentially situations that don't look like the best situations at the time, but will lead to something good. As they say, with something bad, there's always usually an upside somewhere down the road.
David, we'll come back and talk a bit more about marketing, getting the word out there. First, though, tell me about your involvement with Centec and your experience there. This is a government-funded incubator for young tech companies.
So, absolutely. Well, I actually studied engineering at ETS, which is the university that's kind of associated with Centec. And my last year, I realized the opportunity to really integrate the startup ecosystem, to get access to incredible mentors, to really start my education on how to build a strong foundation from a business perspective. And luckily, with a lot of hard work, me and my co-founders, sleepless nights working, we managed to be part of the 33 businesses that were picked out of the 158 that applied into our cohort. And then from there, we just pushed and pushed and pushed, and then continuously applied everything we've learned, created contacts, and relentlessly put in effort in order to reach our goals. So luckily, we were selected out of the 33 to be part of the incubator now for the propulsion program. And I'm actually doing this whole interview directly from our offices in Centec.
We're chatting with David Laundrie, the co-founder of Living Safe, interesting startup out of that Centec family, and not the only one we've spoken to lately on Today's Entrepreneur. Just a really interesting group of young tech companies. And coming up, we'll talk about marketing, getting the word out there, as well as R&D with David and where this interesting senior monitoring technology is going. All that's coming up on Today's Entrepreneur. Stick around.
This newscast brought to you by Renovco, celebrating 20 years as Montreal's leader in home renovation and restoration. Renovate with the best. Renovco.com.
Today is a new day. A day for exceptional capability. A day for uncompromising strength. A day for all-out power. It's the Ram Power Discount Day sales event, where every day is a chance to get up to $9,750 in discounts on select Ram 1500 Classic models. Plus, up to $3,000 in loyalty cash for select owners. Today is a new day. A day for a new truck. Talk to your Ram dealer for details.
Good afternoon. It's 12:30. I'm Nicole Proana with your CTV News Update. Here's what's making news right now. The provincial government submitted a bill that would only allow Quebecers to request a change of sex on their birth certificate if they got surgery on their sexual organs. Right now, the law doesn't require surgery for the change to be made. It's a move trans rights advocates are critical of, calling it a step backwards. Provincial health officials are reporting 451 new cases of COVID-19 as hospitalizations drop for the fifth day in a row, now standing at 255. Those who are unvaccinated are 20 times more likely to end up in hospital compared with those who have completed their full vaccination schedule. And mayoral candidate Denis Coderre is promising new sports complexes if re-elected in Montreal North, Lachine, and Hochelaga Maisonneuve, as well as in St. Leonard. Meanwhile, incumbent Mayor Valérie Plante is touting a record amount in donations raised for her campaign, saying it proves Projet Montréal is on a roll. With the latest from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center, here's Jill Fitzgerald.
Décarie northbound is heavily congested. Queen Mary into the Décarie interchange. You have no access to the 40 westbound due to the closure of the Met westbound between the Laurentian autoroute and Cavendish. I would suggest staying with the northbound side of Marcel Laurent. You can double back onto the 40 westbound. Met westbound very heavy over to Papineau. 13 north and southbound losing about 10 minutes for the Bisson Bridge. 20 westbound has volume from Angrignon to First. 15 southbound, 2 lanes are shut down on Nuns Island, reopening at 2 o'clock. And there's an accident on 15 northbound up around de la Vérandre. Traffic is congested from Atwater. The inbound tunnel is also closed for the weekend. From navigating showrooms to wandering through the market hall, IKEA is more than a store, it's an experience. Visit IKEA in-store today. Traffic and transit every 15 minutes on CJAD 800. Next report, 12:45.
Your Dermaview Weather Center forecast, a mix of sun and cloud today with a high of 7 degrees. Tomorrow, mainly sunny with a high of 11. And rain for Monday, the high will be 7. Your next CTV News Update is at 1 o'clock.
The heart, the mind, and the Toyota Corolla. This is your mind. With more than 50 million vehicles sold worldwide since its creation, the Corolla is the epitome of reliability. Your heart here. Available in sedan, hatchback, hybrid, and totally customizable, the Corolla is the epitome of creativity. It is so financially responsible. It is so fine. Listen to the voice of reason. Listen to your heart. Heart or mind? Rediscover the Corolla at shoptoyota.ca during the Get In and Go event.
I don't really feel like cooking since I've been on my own. But the caterer from La Cantina Domicile makes me healthy meals for a good price, too. And I like chatting with the delivery man. Being surrounded by such nice people, that feeds the soul.
When everyone's all in for doing good, it makes a world of difference. The Desjardins Good Spark Fund is $250 million for projects like La Cantine pour tous, which fights food insecurity.
Today is a 20 times the points event.
It's a big deal, and it's exclusively at Pharmaprix. So whether you're shopping for essentials or looking for a pick-me-up, let us help make your day just a little bit brighter with a lot of points. Shop today and get 20 times the PC Optimum points when you spend $50 or more on almost anything in store at Pharmaprix. That's 30% in points. More points equals more free stuff, and free feels good. Details in store.
We've never met, and to be honest, we probably never will. That's not really important. But there are probably people out there who are important to you, who are reluctant to get the COVID-19 vaccine for themselves and for their children. We all have our reasons, but if we take the time to listen to others, we can help reassure and support them, and that's really important.
The first step to understanding is listening. If you have questions about the vaccines, visit quebec.ca/vaccine talk. A message from the Gouvernement du Québec.
Hey, Julie, it's me. Listen, Chateau Dollard seems perfect for Mom. It's modern, safe, with lots of activities. And there's even a wing for residents with cognitive impairment. There are only 3 units left. Let's make an appointment at 514-685-4444.
This is Valérie Plante, leader of Projet Montréal. As mayor, every time I visited your borough, you told me how great your neighborhood is, your local mom and pop shops, your parks, and your local schools. Isn't that what makes Montreal special? For the last 4 years, we invested in parks and making our streets safer. We helped small businesses and we invested in our quality of life. That said, there is still so much more to do, so let's keep moving forward.
Authorized by Carole Leroux, official agent.
I tried to save you.
Thursday on CTV Sci-Fi Channel and Crave.
We can save each other. What is all of this?
Star Trek Prodigy. New series Thursday on CTV Sci-Fi Channel and Crave.
Welcome back to today's Entrepreneur, a program about the entrepreneurial spirit that drives Quebec business, presented by FL Montreal. My name is Dan Delmar, along with Euros Malekic, sitting in for Michael Newton today. Michael will be back on the next program. And we're chatting with a young entrepreneur. It's a startup show today. We're chatting with David Laundrie, co-founder of Living Safe. They're part of the group of young companies at Centec, an incubator in downtown Montreal. I believe, David, that's where the planetarium was, right? Is that where you're coming from, the old planetarium?
Oh, yes. The planetarium is part of the Centec incubator. I'm actually in one of the buildings that's very close to the planetarium where most of the startups are incubated.
Very cool. So again, please recap for us what is Living Safe and what kinds of data points that you collect on some of the people under your care, some of the seniors under your care.
So Living Safe creates a non-contact monitoring system for the senior care industry. So essentially what we do is that with our wall-mounted device, we're able to extract information like, did the person fall? Has the person been moving? Is the person in bed? How they're using their unit, their spaces, as well as really interesting things that's unique to radar, which is vital sign monitoring without the need to wear anything.
Being going back to the aspect that you're in the Centec, you said the propulsion program, that's a 24-month program. Where are you within that program right now, David?
So we're about 7 months from completing the 2-year program. So a little bit left to.
And how have you found that whole process? I guess it's probably a little different than it was maybe 2-3 years ago, given that it's a pandemic. Like you're right now in the development phase of your product, right?
Exactly. So in our case, we incorporated our business March 9th, 2020. So a couple of days before the confinement. At the beginning, because our target clientele was so vulnerable, a lot of our meetings and all of our meetings with people, with staff, with owners were all pushed back, which we had perceived as something that could slow us down. But really, as the months went by, we realized that actually, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because, not a lot of people really understand how, the conditions inside of care units or inside of senior establishments in general. And having a lot of media attention brought to that just basically showed how much there's a need for innovation in terms of technology inside these establishments.
Let's deal with some of the recent media attention, especially here in Quebec when it comes to seniors residences. I'm sure you've thought about this. I mean, how can your product help safety in some of these establishments?
Right. Well, to begin with, these establishments have staffing problems. It's not always the most valued job. It's difficult to retain your employees, and that turns out that they have staffing problems because of that. And then on top of that, they're very limited in the type of technological tools that could help them do their jobs, and just like help them spend more of their time dedicated to actually offering care to the residents. And that's exactly what we strive to do.
In terms, David, of having team members in your corporation and building a culture that's going to be for long-term growth, have you had any challenges? I mean, we've talked on the show earlier about labor shortages. Has any of that stuff affected you as a startup in the Centec propulsion program?
Not at all. Not at all. We are extremely mission driven. The team for us is everything. And up to now, the team we've managed to build in the last year and a half of existence, we haven't lost one team member. It's just growing. People are dedicated every day to improving the situation. It's so inspiring and helps so much when all of your team is mission driven. And when you see what exists and how much more you could bring to the table, then you realize it's a beautiful thing.
Can you see your product going beyond like senior care facilities? Like, a thought that comes to mind is with babies, having something in the home if they're in a crib. Is that something that you've thought about, or are you really just trying to channel into the senior care facility aspect?
Right. So certainly there's a lot of verticals to explore with our basic technology. However, we've dedicated ourselves entirely to senior care.
David, I have a question on ethics. A lot of people are talking about AI, data, the responsible use of data. What are your thoughts there, your policies in terms of sharing data?
Right. So, we, first of all, are entirely privacy oriented. From the basic choice of the sensors we use to solve the problems we were going after, we've always had emphasis on privacy. It's important to know that in our case, as we give the information to staff, naturally it's important for them to know from which unit and who's in trouble, right? But once we go further than that and we basically get data into our database, we completely render it anonymous. So we have algorithms that break the link between the data we get from the units our devices are installed in, so that it can no longer be retraced.
That's really great to hear. I don't think Facebook takes such steps to anonymize our data.
No, definitely not. But you opted into it once you've accepted their terms of service.
Final thought, David, where is this business going? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And where could you look to expand?
That's a good question. Well, with the aging population and this happening all around the world, we believe that this is a global opportunity. We think that really Quebec is an amazing place to start for us, not only from all the resources that we have around us, but also from the demographic and the cultural decisions that we took, putting a lot of seniors into big buildings. That gives us a very nice place to start, refine our technology, optimize it in order to, really be able to expand across Canada, into the US, into Europe, where we've already had some traction, and possibly into the Asian markets as well.
And R&D wise, what other sorts of data or conditions would you want to track in the future?
Well, that's kind of the beauty, right? In this type of technology, it's once you're installed in many units and you start receiving good data that you've cleaned, that you've labeled, then the possibilities become huge. You're able to not only optimize all of the functionalities you have to make them more performant, improve the services that we're able to give to establishments, to residents, to seniors, to their families, but you're really able to push and better understand their needs and use that data into a preventative aspect. So how are you able to use what you've learned in order to predict certain outcomes and therefore adapt care in order to prevent certain outcomes?
That's really awesome. Yours, quick final thought?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, hopefully, stuff like this is going to be incentivized for care facilities, because presumably it's a cost for them to take on, but long term it would save them costs in terms of responsibility, labor requirements, and having people do these types of tasks manually versus it being somewhat automated and more efficient. But I think that battle in between current costs with long term benefit is something that hopefully someone's going to step in from a government perspective and hopefully subsidize some of this stuff for the care facilities for the long-term good for the people that need the care.
David, thanks so much. You're going to hang around. We're going to have your one piece of advice for today's entrepreneur on the way. And coming up next, FL Montreal's Estates and Trust Consultant will talk to us about important things to consider while you're living a healthy life and during each important milestone of your life, marriage, children, etc. And that thing is, of course, your will and how to keep it updated. That is on the way on today's Entrepreneur.
Now an update from the CJAD 800 Traffic Center.
50 northbound Montreal side of the Champlain Bridge. One lane is closed at de la Vérendrye due to an accident. Traffic is congested to Atwater. Volume on the southbound side from Atwater as well. 2 of 3 lanes closed across Nuns Island until 2 o'clock. 20 westbound is slow mover and Grignon to First. 40 westbound shut down for the weekend between the Laurentian autoroute and the Côte de Liesse entrance. Very heavy volume ahead of Papineau due to that, affecting the drive from Queen Mary on the northbound side of Décarie, from Henri Bourassa on Laurentian autoroute southbound detours onto the service route. 13 north and southbound for the Bisson Bridge, costing at least 10 minutes. From navigating showrooms to wandering through the market hall, IKEA is more than a store, it's an experience. Visit IKEA in-store today. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to star 800. Next report, 1 o'clock.
Our leaders have been sent back to work. Tom O'Care has been there. He knows what that means for you. And he's on CJAD 800 twice a day. Brought to you by Guaranteed Industries. It's time for a maintenance visit and to change over to heating and humidification. Call Guaranteed Industries at 514-342-3400. Tom O'Care, 735 with Andrew and 505 with Aaron and Natasha on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Imagine finding the design, refinement, and joy of driving a Mazda all in a 100% electric vehicle. Good news, the first ever all-electric Mazda MX-30 is here, and it's the perfect vehicle for everyday life. Get into one today with a 2-year no-charge scheduled maintenance plan, a $500 Mazda bonus, and a 2-year free trial of Mazda connected services. Discover the 2022 Mazda MX-30 EV today. Visit your participating Mazda dealer at Mazda.ca for more details.
When the air gets a little chilly, there's nothing like cozying up for a good night's rest. Treat yourself to a great sleep with Dormez-Vous Sleep Cozy event on now. From pillow top mattresses to down-filled duvets to plush pillows and more, we're fully stocked with incredible offers on sleep essentials, like a Kingsdown Queen mattress that contours to your hips and shoulders for only $579. This price ends Sunday. Dormez-Vous Sleep Cozy event. Sleep well, stay well. Dormez-Vous.
With decor from Broe Martineau, you can really feel the moment.
Okay, don't laugh, but whenever I turn on my dishwasher, I feel like... Wow, what about the oven?
Until November 3rd, buy a fridge and range set and get the dishwasher for half price. And delivery is free on purchases of $799 or more. Broe Martineau, about to quality and price. Selected brands and models.
Hey, Nissan. So this is the all-in clear-out event?
Yes, ma'am.
How all-in is all-in?
Totally all-in. Take the Kicks with Apple CarPlay and Bose speakers in the headrest. Great looks, best fuel economy.
Go on.
Okay, try this. You can lease it from the equivalent of $52 a week for 39 months. You in?
All in.
until November 1st. $227 a month, $1,095 cash down. Retail value of $22,043 on approved credit. Details at Nissan.
With tax deadline approaching, get your receipts and paperwork organized with the Epson Rapid Receipt Scanner. Quickly and easily process receipts and invoices. This tax season, get receipt relief with Epson Rapid Receipt Scanners. Available at select retailers and epson.ca.
Restaurant Le Petros in Griffintown brings the heart of the Mediterranean to you with local Greek cuisine, fresh seafood, and grills. Open for lunch Monday to Friday and for dinner all week. They also have a big party room for any occasion. Book a table at restaurantpetros.ca/Griffintown.
Today, Chris didn't expect to need intact insurance on his short drive, but across town, a young woman's alarm didn't go off, which made her miss her morning meeting. No. So now, the coworker she was supposed to meet has time to walk her dog, whose leash broke just as Chris was taking a turn. So he swerved away, but got in a minor fender bender. Since you can't expect the unexpected, you can submit a claim on the Intact Insurance app. And just so you know, the dog's all right. Conditions apply.
At New Look, all of our exclusive frames, even the Julien Couture collection, are now 2 for 1. 2 for 1. That's like 100% off the second pair. That's like a free pair of glasses. So it's definitely worth making an appointment. An appointment? That's like...
New Look. Precisely.
Jacinthe Laurando, optician.
Kim, you didn't.
Oh yeah, I got a Bronco Sport. Check it out.
Nice. So what are goat modes?
Are you kidding? It goes over any type of terrain.
Uh-huh. Meaning?
That it can handle all kinds of terrain.
Like mud?
Yep.
Sand?
Duh.
Rocks?
Yes. Anything else, Kevin?
Hail.
The 2021 Ford Bronco Sport starting at $34,199. For details, contact your local Ford store or visit Ford.ca.
Wow, nice ride.
She goes from 0 to 30 in 4 seconds.
You mean 0 to 100?
No, to 30. I live in a residential neighborhood, so I take it slow. But man, the other day on the highway, you should have seen me fly.
Oh yeah? How fast you go?
100.
Are you a careful driver? Well, good news. The Adjusto program by Desjardins Insurance rewards good driving by helping you save money. Sign up for Adjusto today. Certain conditions, exclusions, and limitations may apply.
Transform your travel budget into a renovation budget and get that new kitchen you've always wanted from Cuisine West Island. The kitchen is where your family gets together. Make it a room you want to spend more time in. Cuisine West Island will customize, manufacture, and install your new kitchen to your taste and to your satisfaction. They've been doing it for more than 20 years, and they're a local business, which means everything is made right here in Montreal. They're at 2758 St. Charles in Kirkland. Cuisine West Island, for those not easily impressed.
Welcome back to today's Entrepreneur, inspiring stories from outstanding business people by FL Montreal. Dan Delmar and Euros Mlekic with you. Euros is in for Michael Newton, who's back in a couple of weeks. And coming up, we'll have David's one piece of advice for today's entrepreneur, David Laundry, the founder of Living Safe. They do smart monitoring for senior care. So that's on the way. But first, speaking of end-of-life care, we're going to chat now with our FL expert. Sarah Halkman is the expert on estates and trusts. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'll jump right in.